welcome back to the channel. My name is Katie and you saw the title of today's video. Oh, we're going to talk about Miss Heard and her finances. You know, for a while, your girl has been calling this one about bankruptcy, and we have several big news outlets and places reporting that she has officially filed for bankruptcy. But what does that mean exactly? And can she get out of paying Johnny? We're going to get into all of that. But before we do, guys, if you're new, hi, how are you? I'm Katie, and I like to giggle at everything in the mainstream news because we hear all about this situation with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and we hear nothing about Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeff in an airplane. So to me, it's all stupid and silly. So let's just laugh at it and have a good time and get what we can from it. So if you like videos like this, make sure and subscribe, hit the notification bell. Also, guys, $100 gift card giveaway is coming up on August 1st. All you have to do to be entered, like the video, subscribe, hit notifications, comment, share the content, watch the video from start to finish, and do it for every single video you see because you get entered more times. Also, guys, last thing, I love this dress today, except y'all know I've had chesticle issues, and I tried figuring out what to do with my bras and things. This is as good as it's gonna get, but I don't care. I love it. I have this in several different shades and colors and florals, and you can't see it. There's like this thigh-high split here. I just love this, so thank you for letting me share some of my my fun art with you. I do. I love dressing up for y'all. It's at the point now where if I don't dress up, I feel weird. But in my real life, I don't care. Like, I like looking nice and stuff, but I live in leggings and sweatpants and hoodies when I'm at home. Okay, let's go ahead and let's get into this, but let me explain exactly what's going on. So with Amber and Johnny, as we know, she owes him about $10 million per losing that lawsuit. Plus, guys, keep in mind, the insurance companies that paid for the lawsuits are now coming after her for millions, somewhere between the 6 to 7 million range for all of her legal fees, her lawyers, and even possible judgments. Because when they found her guilty of not just defamation, but defamation with malice. Now, when she has done her appeals with Elaine, one thing they've said is you guys did not prove defamation with malice. Well, why did they add that in there? Simply because of exactly what we're talking about. They knew when they did the appeal that Travelers Insurance and that her insurance companies would be going after her because of this situation. So she kind of doesn't have a choice but to find somebody to bankroll her to keep going with these trials. Otherwise, she's really on the hook for a lot of money, unless there's another billionaire who's willing to pay all that, which, hey, Elon, hey, because we all know the rumor is that her daughter is actually Elon's because they had a big fight over embryos that went public. This girl's a mess. This whole thing continues to be a big mess. But now we're hearing reports that she has actually declared bankruptcy. But the question is, does that mean that she doesn't owe Johnny? So let's take a look and see what I have found. Microphone, please work. Please work. I can't wait. In the next month, I should be getting that computer. It's going to be a little bit, but we'll see. Fingers crossed. Okay, so let's go ahead and look. This is from Marca, and it says, Amber Heard files for bankruptcy. Does she want to avoid paying Johnny Depp at all costs? The actress said she doesn't have enough money to comply with the judgment. Well, that's the other thing, is that if she wants to keep going with these appeals, she has to be able to start at least putting up a percentage or paying something of what she owes. And she hasn't. In fact, we'll do another video on this. She's missed deadlines on that. So Johnny can start going after her. So let's go ahead and let's look. It says, Amber Heard's financial situation after the trial against her ex-husband Johnny Depp is not good at all, but now the actress surprised by declaring bankruptcy after being unable to pay the fine of the trial to the Pirates of the Caribbean star. Is it really a surprise? Is anybody surprised by this? I don't think so. In the weeks that the process lasted, social networks were filled with videos, comments, and even live streams of the testimonies delivered by both actors. And it says, how much does Heard have to pay Depp? At the end of the trial, the jury ruled that Heard had to pay $10 million in damages to Johnny Depp. Depp would also have to pay $2 million as compensation because he got one count of defamation. As soon as the verdict was handed down by the judge, the Aquaman actress's legal team explained to the judge that the woman would not have to pay enough money to pay off the debt. Since then, Heard has been in the legal process to find options other than paying the $10 million. It is now known that she has appealed the jury's decision so that the fine will be lower. And it says, this is Amber Heard's statements, we believe that the court made errors that prevented a fair and First Amendment compliant verdict. Therefore, we are appealing the verdict, a spokesperson for the artist said in a statement. Amber Heard filed for bankruptcy and on July 21st filed the appeal with the state of Virginia. The 35-year-old woman would be seeking the nullity of the judgment because she does not have the resources to pay the debt. And it says, this is Johnny Depp team's response, and it says, the verdict speaks for itself, and Mr. Depp believes this is a time for both parties to move on with their lives and get back on their feet. But if Ms. Heard is determined to continue the litigation by appealing the verdict, Mr. Depp will file a concurrent appeal to ensure that the Court of Appeals considers the full record and all relevant legal issues. A source close to Johnny Depp explained to CNN. And we also recently heard from Camille. Now, recently, as you guys know, Camille did that interview where she talked in depth and in length about this situation, and she said that basically they would have never filed. So if you guys remember, Amber filed an appeal with Judge A, it got rejected, which was expected. So then Amber and Elaine, they go and file with the Virginia Court of Appeals, to which shortly after that, then Johnny filed his own appeal against the one judgment he has. And as we know, Camille spoke up and said the reason we're doing this is because she doesn't want to stop litigation, and this is our way of responding to it so we can get the full record out there. Because as we know, Johnny doesn't really care about the money. For him, this is not a money situation. This is getting his life back, his reputation back, being able to work back, right? Which he should have, and I think we're all for. So it's really interesting, though, because in her filing this appeal, and I have some things to talk about this with this appeal and with the bankruptcy. Like I said, she has to be able to put up some of this money. So then what's the process legally if she wants to appeal, but she's in bankruptcy? And is it possible she filed bankruptcy so she could continue to do the appeal without having to pay Johnny? At least through with the Court of Appeals, right? This is something that I'm wondering, is this part of their strategy? And with that being said, I want to impart a little bit of what I've been through. I've actually been through this. Not with defamation, though. I've been through going through federal court and having to go through bankruptcy with, I went through bankruptcy with a situation. Most of you guys on this channel know what this is, and a company who sued me. And this is part of how I won, part of it. I mean, every time the judge ruled, they ruled in my favor, which means it was a win. That's another thing people don't understand. Like, you don't have to go through the whole process of court, which can take years and a lot of money. It's not like you see on TV. You don't have to go through that to be considered the winner. The winner is the one that comes out on top, which is what happened with me, because the judge ruled in my favor every single time, and then declared bankruptcy. Now, when you declare bankruptcy, if you're in a situation like I was, those judgments, I didn't have any judgments against me, but the claims end up going through bankruptcy court and getting dissolved, right? This company was coming after me for money and for a YouTube channel. Long story short, which is so funny because they owed me money and they know that. As well as if you look up this company, because this is all public, there are other states, plural, suing them from their boards of employment. I forget the names of them or whatever, boards of labor, because they have not paid people. I am not nearly the only one, and so many people have come out of the woodwork to talk to me about this. But I've been through this, guys. So yes, you can file for bankruptcy, like if you have judgments against you or if you have claims against you, and those can go away. Here's the problem, and this is why I'm wondering what the strategy is here, if this is true. The problem is, she did this under defamation of malice. She was proven guilty, not just defamation with malice. The malice part is why her insurance company can go after her. The malice part is one of the big complaints they had when it came to trying to overturn the judgments, right? To cancel them and get them out of the way. The malice, though, means that she has to pay her insurance company. And I think that is a big part of why she's trying to undo that. Here's the other problem, though. With that malice, the magic word malice, when it comes to bankruptcy, guys, she can't do anything when it comes to Johnny. Johnny can still go after her regardless, because you can't get those claims, or with her, it's a judgment. You can't get those judgments in bankruptcy court to go away simply because of the malice. They won't do it. That's basically like, oh, you intend to harm somebody. Because there was intent, we're not dealing with that under California law. So that's the big problem that she's going to run into. But here's the thing. Amber and Elaine are not totally stupid. Have they made a lot of dumb bonehead moves in this trial? Oh, yeah. I'm not saying they have, and I'm not saying there isn't any stupidity there. But there is some intelligence, guys. You have to be able to see where the intelligence is, right? And maybe it didn't completely play out in the courtroom, but they're not completely stupid. So her team is very aware. If she files for bankruptcy, well, you can't get those judgments thrown out in bankruptcy court. So then what's the angle? Maybe the angle is right now she's just going through the process of bankruptcy simply so she can continue the appeal without having to fully pay him at the moment, at least in terms of what the courts are doing. By the way, I'm just throwing out a theory. I don't know if that's what they're doing. I don't even know if that would work. But there has to be more behind this, right? And maybe it's that she's trying to get together maybe there are certain loopholes with this where she can protect certain assets. I'm kind of the mindset, I can't even really see, because it's the other thing, guys. A lot of people don't understand this. If you go through defamation and win, which defamation is so hard to prove anyway, that's why nobody ever does defamation, libel, slander. But when you go through that process, it's not like the judge says, okay, Johnny, you won. Amber, you need to pay him right this second. No. There is a process. Typically what would happen is you would hire a specific lawyer or a specific company that would then start to assess her assets and process all of them, and then start taking not just her assets but garnering wages and bank accounts and things. There's all these different things to do. He would have to hire someone to start going after that process. Typically that's how that would work, right? We've heard nothing from Johnny. We don't know that. Now, maybe he has started that process. Has he? I don't know. We don't know yet. Maybe that's being quiet. That's a private, quiet thing that we just don't know yet. The other thing is we've had reports, and I've been covering this, that Amber has been begging him in private, trying to have secret private meetings and begging him to lower this amount. But it's funny because if that's the case, and I doubt it is, but then you could also think Johnny's such a nice guy, maybe he would actually take some calls from her, right? That's the part of being a people pleaser and being too nice, which I definitely think Johnny is. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm too nice. I'm a people pleaser, right? The best people in the world, some of them are that, but it ends up being really detrimental to them, which we've seen with Johnny. On top of that, guys, I'm going to throw it out there. I wonder if she wasn't supplying him substances because she could control him and control his money. That's a video for another day, but this is a theory I've been kind of looking at, rabbit holes I want to go down about this whole situation that would make you sick, but I'm curious about, because the more and more I've kind of put together things and seen the evidence, the more and more it's just like, you tried to paint yourself as a saint, helping this person who's an addict while supplying this person and encouraging it and putting it around this person. There's so many things that don't, to me, make sense about this situation. I think to all of us it don't make sense. And I think when it does with this situation, we all just kind of go, screw Amber. And I get why. And I feel that way too, to an extent, with how awful she's been. But anyways, these secret meetings. So let's entertain that's happening. Now, the secret meetings were reported before she filed the appeal. I think this was her last-ditch effort, if this is true. What's Johnny going to do? Is he going to lower the amount so she can keep continuing to go after him? I think at this point, I would hope Johnny has learned enough lessons about people, and he's clean and sober, and he's smart enough to not go backward. I would think going through this whole trial would teach that. But then again, here's the thing. When you go through A-word relationships, which no matter how you slice it and dice it, they were probably A-word to each other, right? And we can argue reactive A-word, and I think that probably did happen. Who started what? We have more evidence that it's probably Amber, but that's the thing. That doesn't mean it wasn't John. Like, we just don't, everything we've seen, Johnny looks like he's probably the person not starting it. Also, though, keep in mind, I'm not saying this is the case, I'm just throwing out another perspective. I've had a person or persons, but one in particular who was really, really awful to me, who in public had a complete straight face and was so awful in private, I was the one that looked like I was out of my mind. And that's always how it was. And we had to destroy any evidence of this person ever doing things. They made sure there was never evidence of it. But there was always, they could always try to point to something with me or have something to showcase to see, look, she's crazy, she's crazy. So that could be happening. I doubt that it is in this situation. It could be, though. I'm just throwing out a perspective, right? But why would Johnny help her? Why would he do that? So I think him going through this whole legal battle, I think he probably has some trauma from this of his own and PTSD. And I feel like it was evident in the testimony. A lot of his testimony he gave, if I were to talk about my stuff, that's how I would be. Like, guys, this stuff is, when you go through it, it's embarrassing. It's not something you want to talk about. It's something you're ashamed of, right? At least that's, and I don't want to judge every single victim and how they react, but her over the top, I'm not saying I wouldn't necessarily cry, but I would be, more so how Johnny was, kind of looking down and not really wanting to talk about it and answer it. And it's so uncomfortable and you're ashamed and you're embarrassed. I wouldn't be in this wild wailing state, right? That, you know, you turn on and you turn off. It's so weird. But sorry, some side tangents. At the end of this though, her filing for bankruptcy, if this is true, what is the motive here? And I want to know what you guys think. What do you think is the motive? Sound off in the comments. I'm curious to know. And if you guys like this video and you want to be part of just giggling and having fun with us, make sure and subscribe and hit that notification bell. I would love to have you around. As well, $100 gift card giveaway. So simple. All you have to do, like the video, subscribe, hit notifications, comment, share the content, and watch this video from start to finish. Boom. You're entered and eligible, and that's it. Okay, guys, I'm going to go on with my day, and I'm going to research, and hopefully we're going to have a good time on YouTube this weekend. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Gratitude and love to everybody. All right, I will see you guys soon. Bye.